Good afternoon, everyone. UK grocers staving off panic buying, telling you can't buy any more than you need, and they're hiring guards. San Francisco, burglaries up 42%. That just follows when economic hardship swings through. 2/3 of U.S. hotels say they won't last more than 6 months. U.S. government budget office, down we go. So much debt. We're never going to repay it. That's why silver bullion demand 40% up from 2019. Look at the number of asteroids 1 lunar distance or closer from 2019. There's an enormous barrage coming this month and next. And don't worry, you can grow your own food. Nearly 40% of Russia's food still comes from small family gardens, which gives us hope as a collapse cycle begins in the feedback loop. I hope you're getting ready. In this day and age, it's so important to keep your body functioning at optimal performance. And collagen may be the closest thing we get to a real fountain of youth. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and essentially the glue that holds it all together. When you're middle-aged, you're only producing half of the collagen that you did in your youth. My focus is about digestive health because the change in our diets from foods being unavailable, moving to seasonal availability of foods, and the entire spectrum of availability of foods changing. There's so much more to talk about with the benefits of collagen. You can visit healthwithadapt2030.com to learn more. The link's to the description box below. And if you thought we were out of the woods with all the craziness happening across the planet, no way. We're stepping right back in it. UK grocers stave off panic buying amid Lockdown 2.0. But don't worry, Tesco says they have a massive plan for improved rapid restocking. But the very next paragraph, we just don't want to see a return to unnecessary panic buying. So they're going to be limiting you on how much you can buy because they can decide what they think you should have. Also, E.S.T, which is a supermarket in the UK, is going to bring in 1,000 safety marshals as the industry braces for a change in shopping habits in this new lockdown restriction, which is going to be rationing. And the Guardian parroting the same thing. I think it's more the UK government using the supermarkets as the mouthpiece. Shoppers, do not panic over lockdown fears, only buy what you need. Do not stockpile. Stockpile is forbidden. Coming to the U.S. in a few months as well. So get used to that. Get ready for it. And with all these changes out here, I don't hear anybody talking about the top 0.1% of earning corporations and individuals has been growing 15 times faster than the bottom 90% of earners. Maybe this is where the true catalyst for change should occur, a restructuring of this financial pyramid. Nope, too inconvenient. And with all this PPP money and never-ending printing, U.S. Budget Office releases terrifying long-term debt forecast. And I personally don't see how that V-shaped recovery is coming in, especially when we're going into Lockdown 2.0. This is a fanciful chart at best. I really highly doubt we're going to recover anywhere around -5 by 2025. If anything, we're going to continue smashing through the bottom, and they're going to need to put other levels on this chart all the way down to -90%. Because even looking at the U.S. debt clock here, almost 27 trillion. And now they're talking about universal basic income and digital wallets on central bank digital currency given directly to American citizens. Where's that money coming from? And a little trivia for you here. What's the average banknote lifespan in denomination? This is American currency, and every country will be similar to this, especially with the capital controls. And the UK only has 50-pound notes now. And I was surprised that the $20 bill lasted as long as it did. I thought the 20 and the ones would be just a year or two. Obviously, the paper is much more resilient than I thought, but it gives you a good indication of how long these bills can circulate for. Look at 15 years for the $100 bill. Wonder what kind of substances are on those. And with the airlines begging for bailout money, here we have a new report off Zero Hedge. 2/3 of U.S. hotels say they won't last more than 6 months. At the current occupancy levels, you know that's not going to improve. It is so highly unlikely that between now through the cold and flu season into spring, That more people are going to be traveling, I highly doubt it with the 2.0 lockdown coming in. And even without the foreclosures, 74% of these hotels say they're going to lay off employees. And unfortunately, if that was the industry you were in, unemployment rates are running nearly 4x the national average. Well, that national average is skewed anyway. You're going to need to jump over to shadow stats to really get the true unemployment figures. But looking across a landscape where delinquency in loans, meaning companies or individuals not paying off their loans for apartments, lodging, which is the hotel industry, offices, self-storage, you notice that's a 0.0. The eviction clause that you can't evict your tenants is going to be running out. I think it's at the end of November. But again, they'll probably redo something and say, hey, just stay in a house for free. Don't worry about your landlords. So that's where some of the defaults are coming from. Because let's say you have a 6 or 10 door unit and everybody's in there for free. Banks still want you to pay. But what about all the tenants? No, there's no rental income coming in. Don't worry about it. Everything's for free in the new paradigm. Give more stuff away for free. It's all good. And as the collapse is now truly beginning to unfold, we're starting to get this feedback loop now of one domino effect to the next. So all this unemployment, skyrocketing food prices, homelessness, no income coming in. What do you think people are going to do? Crime. Now, San Francisco is the catalyst for the rest of the U.S. Look here first, see what's happening. Home invasions are up 42% in downtown San Francisco. And if you look at other areas, like the Mission, 60% up. Richmond, North Beach, Cow Hollow, looking at least 50 to 70% increases in the amount of home invasions. Now, that's not other things, too, like auto theft, vandalism. Are they even considered crimes in California anymore? Not sure. But if you think you're alone noticing that all these changes are here, you're absolutely not. The media would have you believe you're the only one thinking that nothing's going to go back to normal and society should continue in some fashion that'll make you happy. But if you're looking at the economy, of the 3 official bullion mints for silver, U.S. Mint, Canadian Mint, Perth Mint down in Australia, look at the demand. 2019 is the white bar there. 2020 is the blue. 27 million ounces in 2019 and 40 million ounces so far in 2020. We're not even at the last quarter of the year yet. And they've already surpassed that of 35, almost 40% going in there. And if you telescope in, and we start looking at the first half of 2019 and the first half of 2020, shrink it down to this 6 months of demand, 24 million ounces in 2019, almost 35 million ounces this year. Now, these numbers are going to continue to skyrocket as we move through, especially more money printing and stock market starting to trickle downward. Now, the reason I'm trying to put all this economic information in front of you is there's an enormous amount of hope and prosperity moving right in front of us, lockstep. Just knowing this fact here, it's going to give you so much peace of mind marching into these changes. Nearly 40% of Russia's food still comes from small family gardens. Think about that for a second. Now, the Russian government passed this Private Garden Plot Act, entitling citizens to private plots of land that were disused. If you're a developer and you weren't going to develop it and you're not using it, citizens had the right to come in and use it between 2 and 5 acres. Now, if it was state-held land, they would give it to you. They're called dachas. And these are small family plots, 2 to 5 acres. We need to start doing this in the United States as well. And you have to think about the possibility here. If we go back in the communist era, 1990 and before, 90% of the nation's food came from these same dachas, small landholders, 2 to 5 acres. If you're able to grow food, you're going to be able to barter it. If you're going to be able to grow food, you see the possibilities of a nation growing its own food just with your backyards, with people coming together. Think about the statistic at the bottom sentence. 40% is huge. Coming from Russia, America, 1%. And those are on family-owned farms. So look at the possibilities of expansion and being able to produce and grow food as the supply chains start to have more difficulty functioning. It's not all bad news. It's actually great news because we can move into a new way of doing business. And I know they're dragging us along into the cryptocurrency sphere. That's going to fit in there anyway, whether you like central bank digital currencies or you don't. Taxes are going to be based on this. The way you buy, sell, and trade is going to move to cryptocurrency, but food is barterable. Anything that's outside the system, gold, silver, food, seeds, tools, we're going to go back to our barterability of ancient times, I do believe. There's going to be a split between modern economics and the true value of what you hold in your hand as a good that can be traded for services or other goods. And I also had a lot of people writing in saying there's an enormous amount of inbound, incredibly close, 1 lunar distance or under, asteroids and rock fragments coming through these next 3 months. About 30 that they've identified so far they're going to go rolling through in these next few months, which matches up pretty interestingly with the 2019 1 lunar distance or closer asteroids or rocks. October, November, December. They're expecting at least 30 that they have mapped out. But again, could this be used as a fear tactic? So if you know the pattern already from last year, they can't say, oh, it's new, there's all these new ones. It's a cyclic thing too. Do you think societies made all these underground cities, underground structures just for fun in our ancient past? They knew the dense debris areas of space that our solar system and Earth traveled through. Imagine if you had this ancient knowledge and you knew when the cycles were returning. What kind of control could you have over society at that point? I talk a little more about this on my Patreon channel /Adapt2030. You're going to have to grow food, so please, if you do anything, if you got any one thing out of this video, learn to grow food, get seeds, experiment, try something right now because our time is so limited. You have less than 2 months to get your seed supply stocked up so you can hang in your house for about 3 months while the craziness goes on around you. And if you're able to avoid going to the supermarkets, that would be even better. Long-term food storage, stock it up, get your seeds so you can grow microgreens or cook that, and start to know your neighbors and form groups and communities around so you can help each other. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.